Good evening and welcome to this week's edition of Bike Chat, Bike Chat, Bike Chat. My name is Jonah DePasquale, tuning in from beautiful Rochester, New York, and also my fantastic co-host hailing from Rochester, Minnesota, amateur cyclist, craft beer lover, and Bono YouTube impersonator. Tonight's show is Gunnar Soros. But folks, first of all, do us a favor. Thanks so much for joining us. Tell a bird, share this out with your friends, followers, and you can also share this out with your Facebook peeps. If this is your first time on Blab, welcome. If you're just watching the show on replay, thank you for tuning back in again. Tonight, we have a great show. We have the folks from Kindhuman Bicycles. I'm very, very excited. They've got some awesome things going on. But again, just to give you guys a quick round, Rosie, of what is going to happen. Generally with this show, what we do is we talk about a few hot topic things of some relevance as far as some things that are going on throughout the cycling industry, and then we get right into it. We have a very exciting lineup of potential VIPs. So again, stay tuned because you never know who is going to pop in. So other than that, Gunnar, I got to tell you, man, you were just looking so dapper tonight. Like, what is up with that?
Well, part of it is the backstory of Kindhuman here, and we'll get into that in a minute. But it's Tom's Racing. I got to represent. So
this is old school. I mean, this is if there ever was such a thing of vintage Kindhuman bicycles, Gunnar is he's going for it full fledged right now.
Yeah.
I love it. Well, and it's funny because you actually touched on something that's ironic. Through some of the first couple of times that Gunnar and I connected, like online through live streaming and stuff like that. He, if you watch some of the replays, he's doing his like rollers thing, and he's on his rollers, and I'm like watching it in replay. Like I literally had to pause it. I'm like, and then I start ribbing him about his gear, and he's like, "Oh, you like that, man?" That's awesome. So great story, man. But that's awesome. So hey, let's get into it. We got some hot topics. I just gonna glaze on a couple cool things that are happening right now. We just had the London Bike Show. That was huge. A lot of cool things. Again, I'm not going to totally dive into mega detail with that, but if you have not had a chance to review some of the stuff that was debuted at the London Bike Show, definitely do that. But coming up, actually, a huge show here on the East Coast. It is February 26th through the 28th. It is the North American Handbill Bicycle Show. Now, that is huge. Had a good buddy of mine that went last year, sent me a bunch of pics, and I'm already, if you guys follow me on Twitter, Gunnar and I have kind of been, bouncing back some of the cool things that are going on. One of the things I'll tell you right now that I'm super excited about is, and Adam, I don't know if you've seen this, it's Bastion, Bastion, Bastion Cycles. And you guys can go ahead and search that out. But check this out. They are toting the first 3D printed, or I guess, is it the first 3D built bike? They've got like 3D printing and whatnot. So apparently that's their gig. And this year at the show, they're going to be debuting that. I mean, I've seen all kinds of tchotchkes and widgets and stuff made out of 3D printing. But as I said, they have working bikes, obviously, that people are out riding that have been made through that process. I think that's kind of crazy.
It's really people have been trying to do that for a long time, Jonah. And it's there's that funny video that we all see that kind of went viral outside of the cyclocosm of these students that built a 3D printed bike, and it just, like, the first time the guy got on it, it fell and broke.
Right, exactly.
But there's a lot to 3D printing. I mean, Gavin and I, my business partner, have been. He's probably tuning in right now. He sent me a picture of whatever he's drinking. He's got something nice, but there's a lot of room for our industry. So several years ago, back when I was working for one of the larger companies, they were doing a lot of 3D, smaller size scale 3D printing to test suspension just to see if it would work. So they'd print different parts of the suspension, plug a paper clip, cut it out, basically as the axle for the suspension.
Sure.
And you could see how it worked in real life, in real time. I think there's definitely a lot of room for 3D printing, and kudos to Bastion. That's awesome. We love to see it. Gavin and I have been talking, and we want to bring 3D printed custom saddles to market through our custom build program. Obviously we're a far ways off from that, but it's not that far, obviously, if people are doing complete bicycles, right?
Right.
Sure. Yeah. No, agreed. I would agree there. But again, and I think you're right. I mean, just to preface the whole 3D printing phenomenon. I mean, clearly it's been around for quite a while, and point taken about the project with the bike that fell apart. Yes, absolutely seen that. We all chuckled about it.
Yeah.
But no, I agree, and I think to your point though, without question, that industry across the board has done their homework. So I agree with you 100%, and I feel that it is going to not only help scale a number of industries in directions that they've never been able to go, but I think
Exactly.
we're going, to your point though, we're really going to start to see the norm of the elements of okay, is it tie, is it steel, is it chromoly, is it whatever, is it bamboo? We'll be able to see that. So, great point.
You got to remember the Wright brothers didn't fly. They didn't take flight their first attempt, right?
Right.
There's going to be some trial and error, but we're getting past that. And I think the interesting thing is, as you just said, it's not just going to affect the bicycle business. It's going to affect daily life.
Right.
And there are people marketing 3D printers, home 3D printers, on TV infomercials nowadays.
Yeah.
The day is going to come where you need a wrench, an Allen key that you don't have for that IKEA set that you bought or whatever it is, and you're going to be able to print that Allen key, or you're going to be able to print the mug that you've always wanted to have on your whatever it is.
Right.
Tchotchkes, that's going to be the beginning, but we're already seeing it with Bastion. I mean, I got to reach out to these guys. I honestly never heard of them, and
Right. Yeah. I'm psyched.
Gavin and I are big fans of bicycles, period.
Mm-hmm.
We don't see other companies as competition necessarily. So we love to see innovation. We love to see cool stuff happening from other companies. So I would like to reach out and say, hey, give them a high five.
Right.
That's awesome. So, again, I think that's huge. That's definitely going to be something that I'm excited to look for. I mean, I wish that the show was tomorrow or even right now. And then I think without question the jam. And I know that I'm as I say, maybe I was a huge snowboarder. I still am a snowboarder, and I kind of saw this happen in the snowboard industry. Recently, Giant Bicycles threw one over the bow. And Gunnar, I think you and I were chit-chatting about this, and Giant Bicycles announced to go to online sales. And man, I got a good number of my buddies that are Giant dealers that just went bonkers over this. What's your take? What's your take on that, man?
Oh my gosh. Well, my take is kind of complicated because, I agree that the bike industry market is changing, and that bike dealers kind of have to, they really got to find their place in where it is in the market, because there are so much sales being done online. There's so many sales that are being direct to consumer, that bike shops they can't compete. And I feel for these guys, because some of my best friends are in the bike industry still, and so it's hard for me in that regards. But 90% of my purchases are done online. So how it's not really fair of me to say, go and support your local bike shop, when I'm not necessarily doing that myself. Now, that being said, I haven't bought a bike online yet. Right. Not that I wouldn't. It's just I haven't done it yet. There's still something to me about going into a bike shop, throwing a leg over a bike, and either taking it home that day or putting the order in and waiting a week and getting it to come in. On the flip side of that, though, is that with my prior bike shop experience being in retail, I know how to put together a bike. And so when I go in and I buy a bike, they're still and this is a shop that I worked at, and they're like, well, we can't let you go home with the box bike. We got to build it up for you, and we got to put the reflectors on, and we got to do all that. So
good process.
They got to do, and rightfully so, because they have their legal standpoint that, all bikes have to leave the shop in this condition. Okay.
Right.
To me, like I said, the whole industry is changing. And so I definitely like the idea of Giant selling to consumers. How that's going to work in with the dealers, because I know dealers are kind of upset too, because they're going to still have to deal with warranty issues on bikes that they. So I don't know.
Adam, what do you
It's
think?
well, so I obviously I think a lot of things. I've been in this industry for a long time. I worked for some of the bigger companies. The reason I started Kindhuman Bicycles was not only for what I thought we could bring to market for the customer, the riders, but I saw how dealers are handled. I've worked for dealers. I've worked for these small businesses. People come into your shop and they think that everything's on consignment. It's Walmart. You walk into a Walmart, you don't really care if that Rubbermaid jar that you bought, who paid for that. You don't care at a big box store. We're at a bicycle store, everything that is sitting on that sales floor in inventory, the owners of that business personally, and more often than not, the owners of the business are the people that are on the sales floor selling you these bikes. They had to buy that product. They took that risk. They sit on that inventory.
Right.
And that's the big game. I mean, the bigger companies have, they put the risk on the dealer.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's something that we are trying to change. DGB IV is asking about the scholarship. We can definitely get to that later in the show if you'd like. So direct is going to happen. Gavin and I predicted this a long time ago. That's why when we launched the business, we launched direct to begin with. Also, we're a small business. We're not going to get anywhere trying to market to dealers when nobody knows who we are. So we had to build our name. We had to build our reputation. So far, I feel like we've done a very good job of that. People who have ridden our bikes love bikes, and we need to take that to the dealer level, and that's what we're doing. So it's kind of regressive. While Giant, Trek are going direct, we know Specialized is going too soon. I don't know about Cannondale. We don't know. Canyon is already here. That's been the big thing. That's what the big four have been waiting for, is for Canyon to come here so that they can say, okay, now it's our turn. Canyon has a force here. They're just waiting for the moment to say go. Sure. When that happens, the industry is going to change forever again, big time.
Right.
But we believe in the dealer because the dealer offers a lot that you can't online. Like you were saying, Gunnar, it's customer service, it's warranty. It's also knowledge. And it's a place where you can go and see a product, whether you're buying an entry-level bike that costs $800 or $2,000 for entry-level carbon, Tiagra 105, whatever that is, or you're spending $10,000 on a bike or $15,000 on a bike. That is a huge investment. And to be able to swipe your card online or with your PayPal account, that's a lot of money. So there has to be a trust factor there. It's easier for companies like Giant and Trek to make that happen because they're known brands. They've been around for a long time. They're a trusted name. For us, it's a little bit more difficult. We have to work for it. That said, everybody else going direct is good for us to a degree. It changes the market perception. But I'm really interested to see what's going to happen at the dealer level. What we don't want to see happen is that they become collateral damage to an industry that is basically dominated by these brands.
Right.
And I think you're going to see the landscape of brands represented at the dealer level, excluding the big, like the concept stores, the Trek stores, the Giant stores, the Specialized stores, that are so heavily reliant on that one brand.
Right.
The other market share that we're talking about here, they carry a bevy of different brands. I think we're going to see a lot of different names in these stores. You're going to see, hopefully, Kindhuman Bicycles. You're going to see Rita Bicycles. You're going to see the often unseen brands at that level. And that's only going to be good for the market because that's going to raise the competition. Yeah. And competition is always good.
Right. Well, and I see to me that like the concept stores are sort of like the Apple stores of the bike world. I mean, you go into a Trek store and you're going to see Trek bikes, Trek product, Trek shoes, Trek socks, Trek helmets. And that's what it's there for. So it's just like walking into the Apple store and okay,
Right.
iPhone, here's your Mac, here's your accessories for it. And so I see a place for that. And like you said, though, that's not necessarily the local bike shops that we talk about per se. So, but I like your idea that the smaller companies are going to be able to kind of get a foothold hopefully because of these smaller bike shops staying alive. I mean, I think that's
Jonah's going deep.
yeah.
Well, it's just it's just a mere bomber. That's all it is.
Right.
Good.
Hey, Dan.
So I think
cheers.
Adam, one of the exactly Dan. Hey Dan, good to see you guys. Hey folks, welcome to the audience. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Bike Chat Thursdays 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. My name is Joe DiPasquale. Thank you so much for joining. Also my co-host Gunnar Soros. Don't forget to tell a bird. Again, share if you like the content, and if you're watching this on replay, thank you so much. We got a great treat in store for tonight. We have the folks from Kindhuman Bicycles. Be sure to give them some love, and they are out on a plethora of social media channels: Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat. Actually, you guys on Snapchat, by the way? We got to get you guys on Snapchat.
We don't have Snapchat, but
All right.
somebody was actually speaking with somebody today said you have to have a Snapchat. I thought that was I thought Snapchat was basically like Tinder, or what's it called?
Yeah, exactly.
Where do people go to hook up?
Exactly. No, Tim, you were on the right mark, Tim.
Okay.
So Adam, I do want to talk to the effect of something that you did mention. Also, Gunnar, you talked about it, and then we'll get right into kind of the main brunt of having you kind of tell us the story about Kindhuman. The majority of pushback, okay, that I am hearing right now, okay. Adam, you brought up some great points about Canon. I mean, they are just they're they are the 8,000-pound gorilla. And
Oh yeah.
and I do, without question, I will compliment you and agree with you and say you are spot on with how much of a game changer they're going to make to the big three that we like to talk about. The Treks, the Specialized, or whoever the other fringe is in Cannondale who might not be in the running. But my point is, the biggest issue is the fact, if you buy a TT bike, if you buy that hardtail carbon dually, super lightweight, biggity biggity boom boom, and there's issues with it. Yeah, Gunner, man, if
Yeah.
I need those fly swatter glasses.
Yeah.
But seriously though, folks, and the audience, I want you to understand this is if there's an issue, okay, with that product, okay, they have to bring it to the IBD that sells that. Okay. Now, I don't own a shop. I've never owned an IBD bicycle shop per se, but I will tell you, if that guy rolled, that high ticket bling into me and it was busted up or broken, I as a customer, I would take care of that individual. No question about it. Okay. But that, I like big, but my point about this is I would have to tell you that there would be a little bit, there'd be a little bit of slight there, because I'd be like, wait a minute.
They didn't buy the bike from you. I mean, let's
Right.
cut to the chase. They didn't buy the bike from you.
Right.
Exactly.
So and that's a huge problem, and that's something that Gavin and I addressed early on when we started our business, is that if we are going to do business with dealers, and we want to, I mean, absolutely want to,
Right.
we have to make it easy for them. We're not going to put requirements on them. We're not going to tell them and dictate how they do business, because they are an independent bicycle dealer. And that's I believe, in my opinion, the problem with the larger brands is that they are trying to make them very dependent bicycle dealers.
Right.
And to some degree they are, because those companies have the marketing dollars. They have the visibility that a brand like ours doesn't have. We're not in Bicycling Magazine. My God, we have tried. But we don't have some guy from Spain winning races on our bikes.
Well, you know what? I'm just sorry. This is my show, and I'm just gonna call bullshit.
Yeah.
You guys have awesome product, and let's
Thanks.
face it, it was the same in the snowboard industry. You had you had all the poster children of Burton and all those big brands, and meanwhile there were kids just out there ripping it on these unheard of brands that nobody had even ever knew existed. But just because the big B in corporate America could afford the full page spread or the front page insert, and you know what? You are absolutely right, and I'm calling it, and it's the same damn way. People are seeing you, they're seeing your bikes, they're seeing the bikes, they go to your website, see people like Adam Meyerson, they see what you're doing to the community. They're like, damn it, these people are shaking and moving and making it happen. So absolutely, why in the world would they want everybody else to find out about that? And maybe I'm elaborating a little bit, but I do feel that you're 100% right about not getting the page time that you're looking for because of the obvious reasons, and you're not spending the big amount of volume dollars to advertise with these magazines. Period.
It's yeah, I mean, and everybody's going to tell you it's not pay to play, and I believe them. The fact is, we're a small company. Every product that we send to a magazine to test is money that we're never going to get back.
Sure.
So if we send them a complete bike, whether that's a $2,000 bike or whether it's a $5,000 bike, that's money we can't sell that bike necessarily. It's a give and take. What we found and what is working for us is that we're real people. You guys are talking to me right now. I'm gonna tell it to you straight, whether you're a customer or not. Like it's no BS with our company. It's why we work with riders like Adam, because Adam would tell us if it was shit product. But I've worked with him with other companies in the past, and he will let me know that this is shit product. I can't ride it. And that's good feedback to have. That said, I mean, we've had a lot of success with other magazines, so I don't want to say that we're not getting any love. I mean, we're featured in Peloton magazine. That's huge for us.
Yeah.
That's huge for us to have a full bike review, 2-page review. I think the big difference is and I get reminded of this every day. And I had somebody call me today questioning about a bike, and they said, "Hold on, are you Adam? I can't pronounce your last name. Co-founder of the company, Adam." And I said, "Yeah." He says, "I'm talking to a founder of the company." I said, "Well, that's yes, of course. If you call us, you're going to get Gavin, you're going to get myself, you're going to get IL. We are the people that run this company, and it's not always going to be that way if things go the way we want them to, if we grow and we get bigger, but we always want to be in tune to the people that are buying our bikes. And I think that's the key differentiator." Right. Between us and the other companies. We are a retail company too. We have a brick and mortar store. We might open more someday. It's important for us to be at that ground level.
Nice.
Awesome. Well,
I just want to know what Dan's drinking. Dan.
This is cheap whiskey with a ginger beer and squeeze of lime.
Nice.
Cheap whiskey, expensive ice.
Yes. Yes. Expensive ginger beer.
And that's a whole nother story. Dan, he takes his ice very seriously. He gets his geek on when it comes to ice. So don't get him started. He's got the spherical ice. All right, hey folks, welcome once again to this evening's edition of Bike Chat, Thursdays 9 p.m. My name is Joe DiPasquale. Thank you so much for joining us. Please remember, tell a bird, let your friends, followers know that we are out there. Of course, you can share this on Facebook with your peeps as well. Folks, a very exciting show. We covered some of the hot topics. If you didn't get those, watch them on replay. We have Adam from Kindhuman Bikes. Be sure to give them some loving on Facebook and Instagram as well. Adam, very knowledgeable, has been sharing some of his industry expertise in some of our hot topics. And again, most importantly, now what I want to do at this point of the show is, of course, introduce Adam. Again, Adam, thank you so much for joining us. It is a pleasure to have you on Bike Chat. Obviously, on behalf of myself and my co-host Gunnar, thank you so much for being with us. I want to do a quick shout out to our audience that's hanging out with us here. Thanks, Blake Thompson, for hanging. Appreciate Rico Davis being here. Bike Gab, hey, give Bike Gab a shout out. They were on our show last week. If you want to check out their replay, of course, Red Flag Dan. Thank you to L. Kennedy. Kennedy's here, of course. Dan, the Ice Craftsman. Bloomberg is here. Jeff Ends in the house. Also, too, it does look like Dylan Postier is here. Thank you to Mike Hunty. Whoops. At any rate, and of course, we have we have Gavin Brower. Of course, Gavin is the co-founder of Kindhuman.
Hey, Gavin.
And again, because of the nature of the 4 squares we do have, either Gunnar or myself, we may be jumping out because, again, I do want to give Gavin's 2 cents in here in a bit. But as I said, I do want to give a big shout out to all those folks joining in. Again, we did have a couple quick questions. Again, I know that, Dan, you have some questions, but again, I want to kind of pass the buck to Adam and get the ball rolling. So, Adam, thank you so much once again. And hey, welcome to Bike Chat.
I thank you guys. I mean, it's once we started talking about this a couple weeks ago, I got really excited. We don't get the opportunity to do this very much, but this is a lot of fun. And I've known Gunnar. Gunnar, how long have we known each other?
I don't know. Probably like 7 years, 6 years. Has it been that long? You think?
I've known you longer than I know my wife.
Wow. Holy cow!
Yeah, so, and we've procreated together. What have you done for me lately, Gunnar?
Right. Well, I haven't kept in touch for the last couple of years,
No, but you're still repping. I mean, this is. We were talking before the show. Gunnar is repping. I mean, quite literally the origins of Kindhuman Bicycles right now.
That's awesome.
So people don't know this. Our company started as a team, and the whole concept of our team. I was living in Los Angeles at the time. Was we wanted to be the anti-cycling team. The opposite of what was going around. The elitist guys that. If you weren't riding a fancy Italian named bike with fancy Italian named components that cost a lot of money, and you were kind of frowned upon until you got good enough to put the hurt on them, I guess. But I met a guy who was starting a company. He was a couple months away from launching it. He gave me a pair of shoes and told me to tell friends. And that company was Tom Shoes, and it was Blake Mykoski, the owner of Tom Shoes. And when I decided to start this team, he was the first person I reached out to and said, "Hey, let's promote what you guys do." And later on, it turned into, how can I bring this concept of they have a simple goal. Obviously, their 1-for-1 mission is very simple. That you buy a pair, they give a pair. We're not going to be able to do that with a bike today. Maybe someday, but they want to give back through being a successful business, and that's was the heart of Kindhuman Bicycles when we decided to launch this business. That's something my business partner Gavin, it really resonated with him because he did a lot of I don't know if it was his thesis or if it was something along those lines. I'm probably getting it wrong, but when he was in business school, he did a lot of work with corporate consciousness and corporate social consciousness. And I'm probably butchering that. He can chime in and correct me.
What? Here, hey, Gavin, I'll jump out. Gavin, if you want to jump right in here, I'm going to make this window open. Hang on.
He didn't have to leave. He's the host. I'm just a guest. I should be the one leaving.
We're all lost now. Like, what's going on? Our fearless leader has left us. Everybody panic.
Oh, no.
Run for your lives. The last thing we need is for Gunnar to be running the show.
Yeah. We'll just drink more beer.
Gavin's having, he just, you guys probably heard it. Gavin said he's having trouble logging in. So it's that Canadian Wi-Fi up there. It's terrible.
Well, you got to hit, he might have this problem right here in the browser. I see if I could get this there in the upper part of the URL bar. There's a video camera deal. He may need to click on that if he's got an external webcam or something of that nature, if he's not able to get his camera running.
Yeah, that's definitely happened to me. Hey, we got Nicholas Perry. Thanks for joining us. Kent D. Aston Jr. Nice. Wow. Joy Gouch. Hey, got some folks hopping in. Folks, if you're just joining us now, this edition of Bike Chat is featuring Adam with Kindhuman Bicycles, and he's dropping some serious science on what's going on. Earlier on, Dan had asked a question, and I don't know if we're jumping ahead a little bit. The Kindhuman Cycling Scholarship is pretty rad. I was kind of checking that out on your site earlier today. You want to elaborate on that a little bit, or are we kind of jumping ahead?
Yeah, we're jumping to where we want to jump. This is something that's very important to us, so of course we want to talk about it. And it's something that we want to grow. So when Gavin and I started this, we wanted to focus our business and giving back in some way. We could donate dollars to charity, which we do. Every company does, right? Or we can make a real impact on somebody's life. And the thought process behind our scholarship now, it's not an academic scholarship, and it's also not a sponsorship. We like to say we're flipping the script on how we sponsor riders. Sponsorship in traditional narrative of cycling is you sponsor somebody who's fast because they will win bike races because they're riding your product and they will be on a podium, or they will be at the finish line first with their arms up in the air. That's great. The industry needs that. That's not going to change. It's not going to go away. That's how sport has worked for a very long time. But there's a lot of people doing amazing things, and especially young people doing amazing things with the bike, for the bike, and because of the bike in their communities that needs to be brought to attention. And, you know, we get people that reach out to us a lot, young people. I don't want to say kids. I don't like to use the word kids, but they're young people, young human beings that are doing incredibly adult things in their communities with the bike. And with their lives and with other people's lives. And we want to reward that. We want to put that on the top step of the podium. And that's what we're able to do with the scholarship. So it's been pretty awesome. We want to give back more. We want to grow this program, and it's going to grow as our company grows. You know, right now it's 2 kids a year. We'd like it to be much more than that. But the kids that we've been able to work with, these young people, are just incredible human beings, incredible ambassadors for cycling, and you know, key influencers in their communities, and that's what it's all about for us.
Nice.
Yeah, Dan. Actually, I think Dan, did you have a specific question about it?
No, I didn't really have a specific question. I just kind of I was reading the paragraph on your website, and I just kind of wanted to hear another take, you know, from you on it, because it's an interesting program. I think your website mentions that a young boy who discovered cycling and lost 150 pounds, and
Yeah, Sean.
Yeah, that's super awesome.
Dude is fast. Yeah, he's from Los Angeles. He was, I guess, kind of your typical kid that played video games and ate junk food and got teased a lot in school. We all got teased in school, let's be real, and it's never a good feeling. And he decided to ride a bike, and he got like a cheap fixed gear bike, and he started riding his bike to school. And one day he saw the Major Motion, which is one of the longest running and I would say the most successful cycling clubs in the United States of America. He saw the Major Motion Club just go flying by in all their colors. And he was like, I got to be a part of that. Like, I have to do that. So he chased them on his fixed gear bike and sneakers. He's like, hey, how can I do this? How can I do this? And they really welcomed him in. And that's the beautiful thing about this sport as exclusive. What's the right word? The sport can be exclusive to, right. There are some elements of this sport, this hobby, this lifestyle that can be exclusive, right? But we all look out after each other. Like it's a, you see somebody with shaved legs at the supermarket, you know them, you give them a nod. It's like,
Right.
Yeah, but I got you. We take care of each other. We look after our own. Because Sean's a great kid. He's doing some amazing things right now. He's going to school for, I believe, video production.
Wow.
We went out to, I used to live in Los Angeles, so it was great to go out there. I have to give a mention to the Bike Effect. It's this fantastic studio with probably the best bicycle fitter in the world. I'm not kidding you. Stephen Kerr, he owns the shop, and he was kind enough to assemble Kashan's bike and bring him in for like a 3-hour fit that, I mean, if we were to pay for it, we couldn't afford it. But he had him set up on the machine and with all the diagnostics and the electronic stuff, and it was great. And he found out that Kashan actually had this really interesting, I don't know if it was a defect. I'm not a doctor, so please don't quote me on this, but his leg was kind of splayed. His hip was kind of canted off. And a lot of Steven's customers are physical therapists, are doctors. and he was able to get him some help with that. So it became more than just us giving him a bike. It became the cycling community reaching out to help this kid even further.
Right.
And Kashan's a great guy, great kid, great young man. We're looking into another candidate right now. She seems to be a fantastic young girl, just absolutely incredible. And it's stuff like this that motivates us more than anything else. I mean, we love to create cool products, obviously, but it's being able to work with people. And that's, I think, a common theme as you'll hear me talk about this and as you see our brand develop over the years, is that we find cool people that we want to work with, and we do cool stuff with them and make things happen.
That's awesome. And I guess a segue to the cycling scholarships also is the charity rider program, where you take 50% of the purchases, right, of a frame set or a complete, and you're that's a pay it forward, correct?
Yeah, absolutely. This is new for us, but it's actually something Gavin and I discussed before we ever made this business a reality. And it's, what if we could give back to the charities that people ride for? And this is how we can do it.
Oh, Gavin! So looks like Gavin's in the house. Hey, Danny, you want to jump out really quick? Let's get Gavin in here. Gavin, do us a favor. There you go. All right, let's bring in Gavin. Here we go.
Bye, Dan.
I know, right? He'll jump back in. He's one of the.
I miss his beard already. I have serious beard envy.
No, yeah.
He's hiding his man bun. Usually he's got this like ninja man bun. Some days he's got like a serious man bun.
There he is.
Hey guys.
Hey Gavin, welcome to Bike Chat. How are we doing?
I'm doing awesome. How you guys doing?
Excellent. Perfect timing. Hey, just we were kind of talking about the cycling scholarships, and I just brought up the charity rider program, and that's kind of where we're at right now.
Can you hear?
Yeah, sorry, I can hear you guys. Yeah, so the charity rider program is something that's pretty important to us. We've been saying for a long time that these charity rides are something that's really important for the bike industry.
Yeah.
One of the first charity rides I did has like 5,000 participants in Toronto. It's the Ride to Conquer Cancer. Nice. And they raised money for the Princess Margaret Cancer Foundation, which is a Toronto cancer center. And like you can see it around the city of Toronto, the number of people out riding on the road today over the last 10 years since this event really started has just grown dramatically. And this has had a big impact on the number of people buying bikes, people out on the road, and it's really helping support the industry. And so for us as a company, we want to help give back to that. And our charity rider program is one way to do that.
That's awesome. Yeah, and looks like Don put up the link there to the Conquer the Cancer website as well. And of course, Gunnar, also thank you for putting up the charity rider program, folks. If you do
thanks, Gunnar.
Yeah, if you do have a chance, folks, definitely click on those and again learn a little bit more about how Kindhuman Bikes is making a huge difference and certainly helping to set the precedence, I think, for which many other companies will learn to follow suit. So good ups on you guys, man. That's awesome. Love it.
Thank you. I mean, it's I think when Gavin and I have these conversations, it's like, how do you pick one charity ride to support? There's so many causes that you can, and they mean so much to the person that's supporting them, you know. This allows us to support a lot of different things, and more than that, it allows us to support our riders, right? And people that ride our bikes, they do it for a reason, you know, whether it's losing weight. I spoke to somebody today. You know, I've known people that the bike is a means for them to battle their addictions. For a lot of us, it's just an escape, right? Like, we just like to get out, but we want to reward people that are doing good things with the bike. That's what it boils down to.
Yeah, absolutely. Earlier on, folks, if you're just tuning in right now, you can catch on a replay. But you know, again, Adam brought up a great point that I think really chimes to the character of this company is the Bobby Jimmy, if you ain't first, you're last. I mean, I think that sometimes having the giver's gain, or the Bobby Rahim, whatever. Good thing I need to go watch it. But I think my point is that it's having that servant's heart. If you're last, you're first, and if you're first, you're last. But I agree with you 100%. I feel like it isn't necessarily always that podium athlete that you're looking for. It is that diehard person that goes out there, is riding and training and balancing, being a parent or a student or somebody dealing with some type of ailment or physical disability, whatever it is. But I think that's great. And I think again, those are the finer details that I feel like not only the industry looks at, but I think also most importantly your customers that look for a brand like yourself, and even athletes like Adam. I've had a number of opportunities to chit chat with him here in Rochester at the Elston Cyclocross, and he's very approachable. He's very kind-hearted. He'll break the conversation and a dialogue no matter what. Not for nothing. I mean, to me, that's the type of athlete, a rider, of ambassador that I would want supporting and representing my brand. I mean, Gunnar probably would be a close second with the kit that he's wearing. Whole different story, but in all seriousness, I think this is such a great, great philosophy. And again, your website's great, folks. Check it out. I think it's humanbikes.cc, but
kindhuman.cc.
Yeah, and again, over and over again, you guys are huge about talking about the culture, and I love that. I mean, it's just to me, without question, I'm a huge culture fan. I feel like that is really what helps drive the core of anything you do, whether it's craft beer, whether it's snowboarding, whether it's bike. So I mean, just A+ all day long. So I think that's great.
I think you touched on something about whether if you're not first, you're last kind of deal. Well, that's not the case at all. I know for a lot of companies that is, but that's okay. And I don't think Adam would be upset with me saying this, but we didn't bring Adam on board to go out and win a bunch of races.
Mm-hmm.
Like if that was what we were expecting of him, then it was the wrong move for us. Adam was 41 or 42 when we got him on our bikes. I told Gavin when we started this business, he's the first professional rider I want riding our bikes, and we were very fortunate to make that happen. Adam's a unique guy. Mm-hmm. He's a personality. He's not a PR script by any means.
Right.
And but like you said, Jonah, you hit the nail on the head. He's absolutely approachable. And that's important for a brand. I mean, behind the curtain, we need people riding our bikes at that level to be approachable. We need you to be able to go up to the tent and say hi to Adam and ask him, hey, so what do you think about that bike? I've seen it before. I really like the blue, but how does it ride? That's important for us. The other companies don't need that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter as long as people are winning. But Adam won a bunch of races, and he's going to win more. I mean, I think he's going to win national championships next year.
Yep.
Like, no joke. Masters, Nats.
Right.
He's got it.
He's retired. I mean, but yeah, he's still going to go out and win. But yeah, it's awesome that he's approachable. And I think, we were talking earlier in the Hot Topics about how the bike industry has kind of got to change. I think that community part of it is going to be a big thing. I mean, like you said, the big companies, they can sponsor riders that win, or they can sponsor a team, and they can focus on, okay, well, if we get the wins, if we get if we get a stage at the tour and we get a couple of classics at least in top 10, then that covers our budget for the team. I think on the smaller level, especially in the United States, it's more getting into the culture and community of the cycling community. Of course, somebody winning bike races is going to sell stuff. But I think if you can get in with a community, which you guys seem to be doing excellent at, then I think you're going to get a bigger following that way.
Well,
That's
absolutely.
you hit the nail 100% squarely on the head. It's look, we got to be at that level, and it's important for us. That's why we are working to build a professional team. It's important to be at that level and play in that field. But I think Gavin and I would rather have, I don't know, what's the number? Do we need a number? We don't have to have a number on this. We want people out in the field riding our bikes that are stoked to ride bikes. Ours or anybody else's. That's more important to us.
Agreed. I love it. And
It doesn't matter if you're a professional or not.
Well,
Right.
and I think that was the big thing when when I was out with Cannondale a number of years back, and it was the same thing. People were always like, "Oh man, your buddy so and so isn't riding, the new team Scalpel. He's riding, XYZ bike." And I mean, yeah, at the end of the day, it was like kind of bummed he wasn't riding my product. Yeah, of course, but I agree with you 100%. I had the same mentality when I ran a snowboard specialty shop back in the day. I said, for me, it was numbers, and like I feel like, the great thing back to what we're talking about with the Kindhuman Bicycles mentality. As I said, you're taking on a very clever reverse engineering approach in that you're going after the core culture audience where it's all about that buzz, that vibe, that feel good, and I feel like if people speak of your brand, if people talk about the charity rider program or the scholarships, all of those things, you can't not take a stick at those things and say this company doesn't give a shit. You know what I mean? I feel like if those things continue to stay in place and you guys continue to scale, in a sense of being realistic, which it
It's
sounds
only
like
going to get bigger.
it is, and I think the only other thing I want to say is you mentioned it before, about approachability. I work as a professional MC. There's an event here on the East Coast, a World Cup, and there's no question when I work at Wyndham every year at this UCI event, exactly who the riders are or who the athletes are that are approachable, and some of which you probably wouldn't even think that's the case. But I think getting to my point about where you guys are at, it's that exact same thing. Like for example, Stan with Stan's No Tubes, they're right out of here at Horseheads in New York. Love the guy, he's great. I know his wife really well. We went on ski trips, ski camp, whatever. Anytime I'm anywhere near that group, they bring the riders in. The riders are great. Chloe Woodruff, et cetera, et cetera. They're just like, oh my God, what'd you do? What'd you have for breakfast? Hey, here's your kid. No matter what, to me, I'm not only sold on that brand, I'm sold on that culture, I'm sold on that team, and I'm going to continue to go out and advocate that. There's a huge book that I've read that you guys may want to pop it and check it out. It's called Up the Loyalty Ladder, and taking the advocates that you have, and creating, even more tenacious advocates of your brand where they're going out and they're selling their bikes. They're like, oh my God, hey, you have to ride, you have to ride Kindhuman bikes. These are the greatest things since sliced bread. But at any rate, I think that what, Donald Trump, what?
Huge.
Gotcha. Hey, by the way, just as a teaser, I am trying to get Stan onto Blab. Stan's a great guy. He's a good buddy of mine, and his old school reply was, "Well, can we get a phone conference?" And I immediately chimed and I immediately chimed in to Gunnar. I was like, "Oh my God, good news!" I said, "Stan's from No Tubes wants to he wants to chat. He wants to chat with us." And Gunnar's like, "Well, that's great." He goes, well, he's like, "Let's get him on Blab." I said, "Well, we got one problem." He said he wants to get on a conference call.
Yeah.
And that's no slight. That's no slight against Dan. He's a great guy. Just it's so funny because and you guys are great for being here and being on Blab. And it's funny because I think Gunnar and I think we've been at this for I don't know over 190 days or something like that. So for us, it's ironic. It seems like an eternity. So when we're introducing this platform to businesses or whatever like yourself, sometimes you're kind of like, oh, okay, well, where's the gas and where's the horn and the directionals and stuff like that. So it does make it fun. So anyway, Folks, if you're just tuning in now, thanks so much for watching this week's edition of Bike Chat with Kindhuman Bicycles. It is an honor and a pleasure to have them with us. Just some great things that have been happening. Again, if you're just tuning in now, be sure to catch this show on replay. We're coming about to the top of the hour. We're going to wrap this up, but do stick around. The after-hour party does get pretty fun when we go off the air. As always, please be sure to tell a bird, tweet this out, tell a friend. I want to give a big shout out to my co-host, by the way, amateur craft cyclist. I think that Gunnar, I was going to say to you, you are the king of all kings with the kit that you have today. Great stuff, looking good. Folks, Gunnar does a phenomenal job hosting Craft Beer Blab. It's Tuesday nights at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard. I also co-host that show as well. Very fun. Almost has turned.
You guys got to get us on that show too.
You guys are more than welcome. That is something we certainly can coordinate. Yeah. I think what Gunnar has successfully done for me is he's turned Tuesday into Friday for me, which makes Wednesday sometimes a little bit rough. I think
it does get a little rough sometimes.
We all need a Tipsy Tuesday every now and then, right?
Yes.
For us, it's every week.
Yes. Unfortunately, yes, I have had the Imperial Stout whiskey night was the roughest one for me. I think Wednesday.
Count me in on that one.
Yeah. Gavin's a huge whiskey Scotch fan.
Oh, nice.
Well, you would get you'd get along with Don real well. Don is his spherical man bun and his ice spheres, which is a whole other story.
It's dead.
All right. Yes, exactly. Done. All right. So again, at the top of the hour, hey Gunnar, I'm gonna pass it to you really quick. Did you have any other housekeeping items that you wanted to button down before we roll it back over to Adam and he and Gavin close it out tonight?
Not that I can think of, other than possibly, it looks like you got next week is Ira David from Pedal America. If anyone wants to subscribe to that show, I just put the link up there. So we'll be talking to Ira David about that Pedal America. I think it's a YouTube show. I know it's an online web.
It is. Yeah, he's got again he's got a lot of advocacy stuff going on. He and I had chit chatted a little bit through Twitter and then took the conversation offline. Got a lot of good stuff going on, and again I'm excited. I always like when I get a chance to connect with people that are just on this huge advocacy approach to cycling. So check that show out this next week, and there's some other good things we have going on as well. All right, folks, let's button this down. A few more minutes to go. Again, Gavin and Adam of Kindhuman Bikes. It's kindhumanbikes.cc. Check out their website.
Kindhuman.cc. Yeah.
Kindhuman.cc. They do have there is a new release coming out as well. They've been teasing that out, and I think we can't let them off the hook without talking about that new product because I've had many of my followers that are drooling about it. So if you want to leak that out and tell our audience about that, that'd be great.
What, the new Campione?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Holy cow!
So
that's awesome.
We have a bike that we'll talk about something else we have in development that I think Gunnar will lose it over. But the new Campione's awesome. The original Campione was I think when you look at all of the marks and the criterion for a good bike, in our opinion, obviously it has to be light, but light isn't the driving factor of the bike. It has to be stiff. It has to be efficient, smooth enough to ride for a 4 or 5 hour ride, but it has to handle like no other. And that's what that Campione had. It was very difficult to top that bike and improve on it. Yeah. And we're very confident that we have, especially with Ayel's feedback. Ayel, our lead technician, he hand builds every custom bike that we sell. He's a former Euro Pro, race Pro Continental for a number of years. One of the most incredible riders I've ever witnessed. He's also the absolute best mechanic I've ever seen. And I'm not playing favorites here. We're very lucky to have him. He's incredible with a wrench. But he's an incredible tool for us because when we design something, he gets to ride it and tell us if it sucks or not. And his response was overwhelmingly positive. The bike is a little bit stiffer. It handles a little bit quicker. Lighter. It's a little bit lighter. It's close. But it's an absolute improvement on our best-selling bike. bike by a long shot. It's going to be the same bike that the Pro Cycling Project, when and if we're able to make that happen, and I think that we're making good headway there. We'll be riding. Starlo will be on the bike in the next couple months. Starla Teddergreen, who's incredible racer from Portland, Oregon, and designer, who we brought on board. She's going to be racing the bike in the next couple months as well. The pre-order ended on Monday. Sorry, y'all. You can still pre-order a bike today. So if you go to the website right now, the bikes will be arriving in May. We'll have more stock coming throughout the year. It's an exciting bike. Very happy with it. I don't know how to, Gav, how do I say this? It's like you work on something for long enough. It's like a baby. You hope that little nugget that can't speak and just shits everywhere, excuse me, turns out to be a fantastic person and is successful. You almost have no idea until you actually get to ride it, and we're very happy with how this baby has grown up.
Well, using a baby is a great analogy because, like, all of the bikes we develop, they're babies for us. Like, we spend a lot of time bringing them into this world, and then when we actually see that come to life, and we see other people having fun riding our bikes, there's nothing that's more rewarding than that. And I really got to give it to Adam, who has an amazing talent in what he does. And like, none of this with Kindhuman would be possible without somebody like Adam who could bring these bikes into the world. So well done,
in the
buddy.
same regards. Thanks, bud. I appreciate that, Gav. Gav's my brother from another mother, but
Nice.
in the same regards, if we're going to get all teary-eyed and choked up here, I mean, like, this would all be for naught if Gavin hadn't seen my bike one day and said, "Who made that bike? I need to be a part of that."
Nice.
And Gavin made my dream, my 8-year dream, a reality.
Awesome.
And that's why it's such a great partnership, because Adam and I both bring very different skill sets to the table, and neither of us could do this without the other. And that's just magic.
Right.
Nice. Our other cast of characters and members at large, Eric A.K. Rushmiller says, "Male nurse, I would like to deliver a bike in my garage."
That's the comment. Do you guys give out a comment award every? I will nurse it. I don't want to know how.
Yes.
Like,
Yes.
sick.
Yes. Pretty much. Yeah. Pretty much. Yes. Exactly.
All right, Fokker.
Exactly. Thank you. Exactly. Thank you for the peanut gallery. All right, folks. We are at the top of the hour. We are going to be wrapping things up in time, just to get everybody off and running and doing what they have to do. You know where to find us each week, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. This is Bike Chat. My name is Jonah DiPasquale, your host. Thank you so much. Please, if you can give me a follow on Twitter, it's at Jonah DiPasquale. I'm here every Thursday night with my awesome co-host, Gunnar Soros. I also co-host one of his fantastic shows that he runs every Tuesday night called Craft Beer Blab. And it gets interesting on Tuesday nights. If you want to find out a little bit more, be sure to dig into some replays. In fact, it sounds like this week coming up, or I should say next week, Gunnar, what is going on with the show this coming Tuesday?
Oh, this is really cool. So this is a startup company out of Minnesota, Roundtable Hops. So what they're trying to do is they're doing indoor hydroponic hop farming.
Nice.
And so what that's going to do, because, okay, in the craft beer industry, there's a hop shortage because of craft beer liking so many different types of hops. And I mean, there's all sorts of different things. But because with this system, they'll be able to grow hops year round, hopefully with enough farms, they'll be able to defeat this hop shortage, and we can have great beer for everyone all the time. So no more hop shortage.
Perfect.
Or, at least that's the hope.
Perfect. All right, and you guys, and you did send that link. If you want to scroll up a little bit, that is on the right side. All right, folks, that is going to wrap up this week's edition. Again, don't forget, give our main guests, some loving on social media. You can find them on Facebook. You can find them on Instagram. You can find them on Twitter. And soon after the show, they might be on Snapchat. You never know.
Oh yeah, we might be on Snapchat. You can always give us a call. I mean, we talk bikes all the time.
There
Right.
you go. Awesome.
They actually answer the phones.
That's right. All right. Again, my name is Jody Bisquali, and on behalf of Bike Chat, and thank you for my co-host Gunnar Soros, I'm going to take us right off the air. Thanks for watching, and we will see you every week, Thursday, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Bike Chat.